Okay, apologies for a bit of a delay in commentating there. But when your kid comes in and says, "Daddy, I'm hungry," you gotta take a little bit of a pause. All right, so we have Earl Harper in here on black, playing for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I believe. I want to make sure I get all the names and countries right. Yeah. Then we have on green, Naeem Uwu, playing for Central Asia. Then purple, we got Maya Babu, playing for Greece. Then we have Bart on orange, playing for the Netherlands. And last but not least, we have Parlox on blue, playing for Israel. It looks like North and East Africa did not have a player show up today. So this is a 5-player fixed 70% game on Las Vegas, Nevada. So for those of you that don't know how the World Cup is structured, I'm sure most of you do. Each round is a 3-game set, played by played by one team member of a national team or regional team. For example, we have Central Asia here as a regional team. The other 4 are just straight-up countries, right? Game 1 is a progressive 70% game worth 15 points. Bounties that set you in turn in a progressive game, or bounties that you pick up while you're running the 70, are worth 3 points apiece. The fixed 70 game, which we're in now, is worth 20 points. Bounties, any bounties, regardless of whether they set you in turn, are worth 3 points in a fixed game. And then game 3 is a progressive world domination game, where once again the progressive rules apply for bounty points. Also, any kills that you take on the winning turn are worth 3 points. The progressive world domination game W is worth 15 points. So 70% you need to conquer just 70% of the board, 70% of the territories. World domination, you need to conquer 100% of the board, eliminate all your opponents, and achieve world domination in your game 3s. So game 2 is unique because it's worth the most points for the W, and it's also unique because it's the only one with fixed cards. So progressive cards, your sets are, well, progressing much more rapidly. Actually, progressing, period, because in fixed, they don't progress at all. They remain in place, they remain fixed. The biggest trade that someone can have in a fixed game is a 10 set. And the biggest trade someone could have in a progressive game depends on how long the game goes and how many people set it, right? So the name of the game for fixed 70 isn't really eliminating each other and other players. It's getting big enough, establishing enough positions and enough access to where you can eventually run 70% of the board. And we see Bart here looking at an unfortunate 5-card hand. He's got 3 infantry in his hand and 2 horses, so he's going to be forced to trade those dudes. Those dudes are worth 4 troops in fixed. So in progressive, it doesn't matter what set you have. The troops are determined by how many sets have been previously turned in. In fixed, it doesn't matter how many sets have been previously turned in. It matters what you're turning in. And 3 infantry is the weakest. That'll only be worth 4 troops for Bart. We see Naeem with an 8 set. So he just turned in 3 cannons. 3 horses are worth 6. 1 of each is worth 10. All right, so that gets some of the intro stuff out of the way. Let's take a quick peek at the bonuses on the Las Vegas, Nevada map. So we have 2 +3s in the middle of the board, the Strip and Paradise. You have your +2 also in the middle of the board called Sunrise Manor. Then you have 5 +4s. You got Spring Valley and Enterprise on the left side of the board, the west side. Then you have North Las Vegas, right where it is, north. Then you have Greater Whitney and Lake Mead towards the east side of the board. Then you have 2 +7s, Henderson and Las Vegas. All right, so based off of that, we do see players did end up taking bonuses. Earl Harper sitting on 2 bonuses, getting him +5 a turn. Players seem to be okay with that because +5 isn't too much more than +4, but sometimes it can make the difference. You know, you never know. There's a lake near the desert, yeah. Yeah, how's it going? Welcome in, everybody. I see Tanya, Bertram, Electric. Glad you guys are all here. So who else has what? Green, Naeem Uwu for Central Asia has a +4. Bart also has a +4 right next to it. Purple has a +4, and Parlox is sitting on a +3. So in a fixed game, particularly a fixed 70 game, turn order matters in terms of who's going to have the first opportunity to run the 70, right? Normally there's a slight troop advantage for whoever's going first because they get to put their troops on first for that round. So the fact that Parlox is both last in turn order and last in generation, and just now set in for the 4 trade, puts him a little bit on the back foot here. But he is being allowed to hold 24% of the board, so it looks like the board is allowing him to make up some of what he's losing for troop generation, just by virtue of territory count. If you see a boar coming, what do? You try to Tusker it out. Anyway. Grogu in the chat, he's hosting the lobby, keeping scores for us. Was able to get all the colors straight while I was gone and figure out who's playing for which country. So very much appreciated. So you might be wondering, well, what is 70% of Las Vegas, Nevada? How many troops is that? Or how many territories is that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You need 41 territories on the Las Vegas, Nevada map to achieve the 70% W and the 20 points that come with it in Game 2. That's all but 17 of the 58 territories on the Las Vegas, Nevada map. So on a game that isn't 70%, the right-hand side ticker tells you troop count and territory count. On a game that is 70%, and the territory count is replaced with board percentage. All right. So you can do, like, if you know the total number of troops, you can just do some quick math, right? So for purple, in purple's case, it would be 58 territories times 0.15 tells you how many territories he's got. Of course, you round down if you end up with not a whole number. Or do you round up? Anyway, whatever. I can tell you're dad with that joke. Yes, I 100% am. Also, the other thing is, I was making jokes like that before I became a dad. So maybe being a dad was in my bones. But now I at least have an excuse for my terrible humor. Alrighty, so 41 territories means that the 70's probably going to get run when players are around the 70 to 90 range on troops. 70's probably a bit too ambitious. Maybe the 80 to 90, 80 to 100 range on troop count is about where people need to be to run the 70. Whoever said it was terrible? I'm a little weak without my co-brock. Well, he's eating breakfast, man. He's eating breakfast, so you gotta deal with the weak commentary here. But yeah, so we are getting very close. I wouldn't be surprised if Bart ends up with a 10 set, which I didn't see his hand just a second ago. If he ends up with a 10 set, he might be able to run it. So, and Bart is the player to look out for. Is he still not? He's still technically number 1 on the Saber rankings, right? So Bart, by tournament statistics, is the best player in the world at the moment. Parlox, I believe, is somewhere in the top 20, top 30. And I don't believe any of the other 3 players are ranked on that. Earl might be, but I know the other 2 aren't. And that is probably, like, if you were betting on this game, which I wouldn't necessarily advise that, but if you were going to predict the outcome for this game, you would probably say Bart, then Parlox, then Earl, and then just my own 2 cents, I would probably give Maya a slight edge over Naeem Uwu, only because I've seen Maya practicing and I haven't really seen Naeem practicing. But that doesn't mean that it's impossible for Naeem to win. Any of these players can win. Any of them could, pull off the proverbial upset, right? So, looking at who may have this, Bart is currently on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 territories. So, if you're Bart, you're trying to figure out how you can bag, 41 minus 13. Man, I have to borrow, and there's a 3, 8, 28. Doing math in my head over here. You need 28 territories if you're Bart. 28 more if you're Bart, provided that no one takes a card on you before your next turn comes around. So, does Bart have 28 territories that he has access to? His 4 can hit the green 1 at the bottom. His 9 can hit the blue 4. That's 100% roll, and then probably have enough to go left for those 2 green territories. So that's 3. And that's basically the game you're playing. It's a counting, positioning, and access game. So Bart is going to set in with the 6 trade. So he didn't wait to go to 5 like the 3 people ahead of him did. it's possible that we're seeing a run from Bart right now. If you're struggling with gambling, please call National Problem Gambling Hotline for support. Yeah, for sure. I don't know what the number for that is, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it. So he gets bad dice on the 4, not able to pick up that other one that he probably needed. I'm assuming Bart counted exactly 41 and wasn't expecting to lose 6 on that 4. Bart losing 6 on that 4, the luck element has been reintroduced here. Well, maybe not reintroduced. Yeah, Bart not getting the best dice on this run here. Ooh, 6v4. That's pretty huge. Has a 4v1 there, has a 3v1. Is on 46% of the board, 50% of the board. Still needs to pick up a few more. Has the 20 that it looks like he's going to use to finish things off with. I think he does have it here on 62% of the board, 65, 67, 69, and 70. So sure enough, Bart going to go ahead and take the W in Game 2 for Team Netherlands. Congratulations to Netherlands. They get another 20 points added to their current standings. Yeah, he did have 2 to spare. Yep, very, very well played. Yeah, we got Tanya on here. Tanya is another broadcaster, and he's from the Netherlands. So, yep, very, very GG. Yeah, he started off with trash dice, but made up for it. He only lost 1 on a 6v4. That was huge.